Right, fellas, we're here, okay? Time for this Champions League qualifying, okay? Now, you're really excited. Everyone in Iceland's excited. We've even got the local school coming to Reykjavik to play the flute version of the Champions League song, okay? So we need a big squaddy fit for these next few weeks while we do this Champions League qualifying. Let's see how we get on. The more wins, the more likely we'll reach a group stage of a European competition, okay? Big weeks, boys, come on. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 34 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and today, as suggested in the intro, we kick off Champions League qualifying. We play the first round of the Champions Path and we are taking on Legia Warszawa of Poland, the Polish champions from last season. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, we've also got a few interesting trialists at the club at the moment now that the players have been released at the end of the European season. Then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But before we get into these Champions League qualifiers, we'll give you guys a little bit of a recap. If we went through all the highlights, I think it would take just a little bit too long for today's episode with the two games in this one, with this being a two-legged tie. So we'll go and have a look at our schedule and what we have done since the last episode, where we did beat HK in a somewhat top of the table clash. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner, but you can see our form since then. We remain unbeaten this season and have won all our games in the month of June and to start July. Two of those in the Mulkabikarin and also 4 in the Islands Dilden. Where we left off yesterday's episode, I did tell you guys that we did beat Glotta. That was a little bit of a scrappy 2-1 win. Goals to Isidore and Diaz, a reply from Paul Steinson at the 67-minute mark, but we did hold on for a 2-1 win away from home. Off the back of that, we took on newly promoted Iceland, and that was a more comfortable win, 2-0, with first half goals to Wael, Pedro and Caviglius. A good solid wins. You'll notice most of these games, we're not exactly blowing out teams. In fact, our best performance came a week later from the rotation team in the Mulkabikarin against Fjarðabyggð, and we won that game 5-0 thanks to a double. Very good performance from Ledsson. He continues to do good things for us, does the Brazilian, who is now homegrown at club and homegrown in nation. So he's a useful asset here at Volsungur these days. Is Ledsson, Sekularek, Arnason and Isidore also picking up goals in that game. And then two league games. First off, Vikingur Reykjavik, who are struggling so far this season. They now have the guy off the Run DMC hat as their manager, but we picked up a 2-0 win at home thanks to a Wael Pedro double. And leading into this game, we took on Narts. I know I said a few episodes ago that Narts KR, it might have even been the last episode, were the team that pushed us close last season. Wrong, it was the wrong Narts. These were the guys who were runners up to us last season, and we picked up a 1-0 win away from home thanks to a 67th minute goal to Wael Pedro. So what that means for the Islands Dilden table heading into these Champions League qualifiers, we've got a game coming up in between today against Breidablik, but we are 6 points clear, 9 wins, 1 draw, looking very good. We can afford to just slip up ever so slightly in this little patch where our first team's going to be focusing on the Champions League qualifiers. We're going to be putting out more of a second 11 for these league games, but this second 11 that we do have here at Volsungur is very similar in quality to the team that won the league for us here last season, so I feel like they should still be able to do a good job for us in these games, albeit that first one against Breidablik is going to be a tough test, and it'll be interesting to see how they get on. But we hold a good 6-point lead at the top of the table heading into these Champions League qualifiers. Hopefully, once we get into the group stages of a European competition, if we do, we will still be in a good position near the top of the table. So looking good for us domestically so far, and also in the Mulkabikarin, we have made our way through to the 4th round, and we are taking on Narts, the team who were runners up to us last season. Get it right this time. That is going to be a big game at our home ground. Hopefully, we can do a good job in that tournament, because if we win that one, I think we won't be playing in it next season, and that would be quite useful because we've got a very busy schedule so far this season. It is quite useful winning that Mulkabikarin and not having to play in it the season after. I presume that's what happened, and that's why we weren't playing in that competition last year. But before we get into this Legia Warszawa game as well, I did mention We have some interesting trialists at the club these days. That is because, of course, at the 30th of June mark, all the players were released from their contracts in the big European leagues. We had a good look all over the place. We'll get to the right tab here and decide to troll all the young ones and also some players mainly in the defensive midfield role. I still feel like that's a position of the squad which could be improved. So these are the players we do have on trial, a few youngsters who we might look at signing. As I've said in recent episodes, not as easy to bring players into the club this season as it has been in past seasons with us being professional, but some interesting names towards the bottom that I am looking at, mainly in the defensive midfield role. And a familiar name from our Tottenham beta savers popped up, and that is Harvey White. He would be a superb signing for that halfback role. I think he could do a brilliant job for us. Only 22 years old, released from Tottenham. He would be a great signing. Unfortunately, I've already tried to sign him, and his wage is a bit too high for what the board's allowing me to do. The board only allows me to go up to about 1.9 thousand max for a player, and Harvey White, rather justifiably, does want a higher wage than that. I would love to bring this guy into the team. He would be a big improvement on what we've got in that halfback role. He's the main guy I want to get, hoping he'll drop his wage demands before another club does get interested in him. But we've got a number of other options at the club that I am really hoping we can find a way to make Harvey White part of this team, because he looked quite promising during that taking over Tottenham save. And here in Iceland and at Volsungur, he should be able to do a very good job for us. But a few other familiar names in amongst those: Jake Livermore, Joe Allen. We've also got, if you go down, Mario Balotelli here on trial. Fetty Up could be a very good striker for us here in the future. 24-year-old German, just seeing how he looks and what his wage demands are, but just getting a good idea about some players who we could bring to the club in the future, should they not be signed in the next little while, because we don't have too much wage budget left. £3.34 thousand a week. Still got a decent transfer budget, but can't slide that down towards the wage any further. So we'll see what we can do. If we do add some players, it's going to have to be fairly quickly before the Champions League group stage, and I get a good idea about how they look before we do sign them. So we'll see how those guys go. Ideally, we would definitely be bringing Harvey White in, because I know he is a very good player from that beta save, but his wage demands at the moment are a little bit too high. That would be a great bit of business, but got a lot of players that we are looking at the moment. But our team heading into the Legia Warsaw game, pretty similar to the team that you've seen on camera for most of this season. With a quick look at Legia Warszawa before this first league at our home away from home in Reykjavik. The Laugardas Volleyball Legia Warszawa currently 9th in the Polish leagues. They haven't started things off too well. In fact, I tell a lie, because their season hasn't even started yet. So that could be something we just have in our favour in these qualifiers. We will probably be a little bit more match fit than the teams that we are going up against. But of course, with this being the Champions path, they are the defending champions here in Poland. And if we have a look at their recent schedule, they have not even played a single game so far this season. So hopefully that match fitness is going to play into our hands heading into this first qualifying round. We did take on a Polish team in the Conference League qualifiers last season and did a pretty good job against those guys, but no doubt this is going to be tougher, albeit we have a much stronger team here at Volsungur for Europe this season than we did when we were in the Conference League last time around. Going into this game, if we have a look at the squad, it's pretty much everyone available. Just Lillamos is suspended, but he wouldn't have been in the squad anyway. Bonnet is in there ahead of him, so very happy with how we're looking going into this game. And we will come back shortly from the Laugardas Vola, our home away from home, and see if we can pick up a good result heading into the away league in the first round of Champions League qualifying. And here are the team sheets for this game. Give you guys a quick look at these. We ran through ours before. On the right-hand side is Legia Warszawa's team, just in case you follow that team. Give you guys a quick look at what this team looks like heading into the 2024 Champions League qualifiers. Hopefully, we can pick up a decent result in this home league to take into the away one. And a very early free kick for us here at the 2-minute mark, trying to pick out Mbiyamba there at the far post, but it falls straight into the Warsawa goalkeeper's hands. He pumps that deep, and it's a bit of a misjudged header there, I presume, from Bamba, and they do get possession back, albeit it's a very loose pass, and Nicolucci picks it up for us out to Biarkison. Nice ball up to Well Pedro. Great early chance. It's a narrow angle. He's brought down, though, by a defender, and that is a clear-cut penalty and a perfect early chance for us. What a start this would be. We've been a little bit sloppy in these home qualifiers, at least last season. Hopefully, we're a bit better this time around, and wow, Pedro sends the goalkeeper the wrong way for his 17th goal of the season. What a striker he is for us. There is a notable drop-off to the other strikers in our squad, so we need him to keep firing, but that's a perfect start. 1-0 Volsungur after 4 minutes. And shortly off the back of that opening penalty, another highlight here, Legia Warszawa do clear it out to Mbiyamba into Bonnet, and we look to launch another attack, but promising signs here, but it might be expected with that fitness edge we might have over these teams. Bjarkason, oh, what a bit of play from him. What an individual goal that is from our Icelandic winger. He has absolutely done him like Mo Salah, the Man City players there. That is a wonderful bit of skill. He's turned him inside out, and after 7 minutes, it's 2-0 Volsungur. He receives this. I thought he might look to slot well Pedro through, but he just turns that defender inside out, slots it away on the right-hand side of goal. A wonderful effort that, and we're 2-0 up nice and early at home. 22 minutes gone, we are on the attack again here with a corner. Pick out Mbiyamba, but his header is over the bar, but we are all over the Polish outfit here, still 2-0 up. And shortly off the back of that corner, we have another highlight. Bamba with the throw into Isidore, and we hold possession nicely. Nice pick out there for Bjarkason at the far post. Just had to sneak that low. Couldn't quite get it on target though, and it does remain 2-0, but playing very nicely. 33 minutes gone, another highlight. So this is a pretty action-packed first half. If we could get one more goal, that would put us in a very nice position heading into the second leg of this time. We've played very well. It's a nice sprint there from Pedro got beyond the defence, but pulls out a good save from the goalkeeper. Still 2-0 as we enter the last 10 minutes of this first half, and now we have another corner. So all over them. Mbiyamba this time gets it low enough, but comes off the upright. We should probably be 3-0 up by now, but it remains 2-0 with only a few minutes left in the first half. And that is half-time in this first leg of Champions League qualifying, our home league against Legia Warszawa, and we have been awesome. 14 shots to 1, 7 on target to 1, and we hold a good 2-0 lead. Very happy with how things are going. We'll tell the boys they're doing well, could potentially do a little bit better, even though not too sure if we can. Very happy as we're about to kick off the second half. 49 minutes gone here, and we have an early highlight here in the second half. Hopefully, we can keep this dominance from the first half going. We try and pick out Isidore. Gets the ball back for us there, though, which is very good because we were about to lose it there, and that could have been interesting. Bamba puts one in for Pedro. It falls back to Isidore, and we go 3-0 up very early on in the second half. It's a bit messy at the back, that from Legia Warszawa, it has to be said, but again, that match fitness that we have over these guys might just be telling, and we're already in a very good position to be making our way through to the next round. It's actually really sloppy from the goalkeeper there. Tries to get a hoof to it instead of his hands. Isidore with the simple finish, and we are 3-0 up early in the second half. 56 minutes gone here. It's a highlight. This time Legia Warszawa in possession. They might look to be mounting an attack, and they look to play out from the back and try and get something going in this game. I think they probably need a goal to take into the second leg, because at the moment, the way this is going, I think we'll be quite comfortable the way that this is looking. We have looked very good so far in this game, and almost to a point where we can start making changes just to keep players fresh for the second league and domestic competitions that are going on. We get the ball back, go on the attack. We try and put a ball in there for Pedro. It is headed away, but Bamba tidies things up. Back in for Pedro gets his head on the end of that. Just goes wide. 3-0, just shy of the hour mark. And up to the 61-minute mark now, Corbo has just picked up a yellow card, so I think we'll take him off because of that. Sigurd Bjornsson can come on for him. First change, half an hour left, still 3-0 up. And now up to the 67-minute mark, we're going to make our second substitution here. Isidore got the most recent goal down to a red heart. We'll keep him nice and fresh. Shakuldarak, who's done a good job for us this season for the second team as a Caralero. He can come on to the right wing here for Isidore. Looking very good still, 3-0 up with 23 left to play. And shortly off the back of that most recent change, it's a free kick here to Legia Warszawa. Try and put it just into the middle of the box there, but we do deal with it. But they are back in possession and look to get something going in this game. Good block there from Bjarkason. What a goal that was from him earlier. Good slide tackle there from Nicolucci. Looked a little bit aggressive, but unfortunately, I think that was Pedro there with a sloppy pass, and Legia Warszawa back in possession and looking to get something going really for the first time in this game. Kastrati down the right-hand side. Can he put a ball into the mixer. He does, but Mbiyamba deals with it, but they are still in possession and still on the attack. It picks out Husavik at the far post, comes crashing off the upright, and it does remain 3-0. The highlight ends with 20 minutes left to go. And now up to the 74-minute mark here, Diaz about to try a long throw, albeit not a very good one, gives possession straight to Legia Warszawa. 3-0 up, still very happy with how this is going. Hopefully we can keep them scoreless though, but they're starting to work their way into this game, no doubt, as they start to improve on that match fitness. I think that's been a big factor in this game, it is fair to say, because we absolutely blew them out the water in those first 10 minutes, going 2-0 up nice and early, but they hold the ball nicely. They're good short passing, albeit Mbiyamba is there to tidy things up, and hopefully we can launch another attack. Good header down there from Pedro to Swiderski. Sikolarek over for Pedro, one-on-one with the keeper. He sends him the wrong way, goes across the face of goal, and we go 4-0 up with a quarter of an hour left in this first leg. And if we can hold on to this scoreline, I think we will already make our way through after 90 minutes into that second qualifying round. It would take a rather large bottle job. Good play there. Well, Pedro with the header back to Swiderski. Sikolarek gets an assist after coming onto the pitch. He's been good impact for us so far this season. 4-0 as we're about to enter the last 10 minutes, and I think it's time for us to make our last substitution at this time as well. Nicolusi Caviglia having a good game, our most important player, you could argue, being the highest rated, so I think we'll take him off on a red heart, and Gavioli can come on for him, but looking very good with just over 10 minutes left to play in the first leg. And up to the 90-minute mark here, only 3 minutes of added time, so not too far away from the final whistle in this one, but we have a throw-in and might have time for one more attack in this game. If we could make it 5-0, that would be superb. Trying to pick out Pedro there. They just deal with it through the Legia Warszawa defence, and hopefully we can keep them scoreless as well. If they get a goal here, they might just get their tails up heading into that second leg, but we should already be in a good position to try and wrap this up. Not really have to rely too much on the result of that second leg, but we do get possession back here. Gavioli tries a long shot fresh off the bench, but puts it just over the bar. I see there is a goal kick here for the Legia Warszawa team though, so there might be one more highlight in the remaining minute of this game. They pump it deep, but we do get the ball back. That standard defensive line, instead of being just a little bit higher, still working quite well for us like it did in our multiple series from FM21, but we do give the ball away there, and Legia Warszawa are back in position, but good little bit of work there from Diaz on the left-hand side. Gets the ball back for us. Gavioli back to Sigurbjornsson, out to Bonnet. Can we create one more chance in these last few minutes to try and make it 5-0? Diaz back in possession after winning that ball. It takes a deflection. Sikolarek with the header, but it's a pretty comfy save, that one, for the Legia Warszawa goalkeeper, and we should be about to reach full time in this game. We get the ball back with only about 5 seconds left, and it has been a very good performance from us here. We lose the ball to a tackle, but we do not mind about that at all. That is a wonderful performance. Absolute dominance. You can see from the stats there, we pretty much matched our XG, so no complaints, and we should be in a position where we've already secured our way into the second round of the Champions path of qualifying for this Champions League. But we'll come back shortly and make sure that we can get the job done in the second leg after that 4-0 win in the first. And just popping back into the inbox before we get into the second leg of that Champions League qualifier. Good result, and as you can see for the club, also good result monetary wise. It's our highest gate receipts for a game ever, and you can see it's beaten the group game of the Conference League last year against Napoli by double. So that obviously shows that the Champions League has quite a bit more pulling power than the Conference League, even though we did play Napoli in that competition. So the longer that we can stay in these Champions League qualifiers, the better that's going to be for the finances of the club. But a little bit of interesting stuff there. Double the gate receipts of that Napoli group game from the Conference League last season. And a little bit more stuff's happened before we get into the second leg of that Champions League qualifier. First off, we did have that league game away at Breidablik, as you can see on screen. Unfortunately, a 0-0 draw, a game that we really should have got something out of. It was an entirely rotated team, so that's what we look like in these league games at the moment while we do have those Champions League qualifiers going on. A very good performance, as you can see from the stats, but unfortunately couldn't get anything in the back of the net, but not a terrible result there away at Breidablik. And what that means for the league table at the end of today's episode, we are 4 points clear now of Valor Reykjavik, so still have a little bit of a gap on them, while we are in the midst of European qualifying. But something which has happened transfer-wise is one of our players has asked to leave, and we have allowed him to leave because he is sort of a third 11 player, so there wasn't much point in keeping him around. And that player is Shaun Musamiki. He's a player at a little bit of time in the first team a wee while ago now. If we go back to last season, 12 appearances for 1 assist, a 6.85 average rating, so it wasn't too bad for us, but he has asked to leave and he is underbid from a number of clubs here, as you'll be able to see. But the offers that we have accepted are around the £35,000 mark. That is what he is going to be leaving us for. Free transfer, not getting much game time these days, so we are going to cash in from him. Probably means we might have to look for another Mazzala Carolero type player for extra backup just in case we do get an injury. But Shaun Musamiki will be leaving the club in the near future, probably before we get into the next round of Champions League qualifiers, provided that we don't bottle things in the second league. Everyone from the first league is available for this league as well, so hopefully we can pick up a similar result. Should be no danger of getting knocked out here, hopefully, with that 4-0 lead, and we'll come back from the Pepsi Arena and make sure we can get the job done away from home. And we've got the first highlight of the second league around about the 25-minute mark. Legia Warszawa in the white today were on the attack at home, but we do get possession back. Look to play a ball over the top here for Pedro. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, but hits it straight at him. That was a very good chance. Can't make the most of it, and it does remain 4-0. There's a quick look at the Legia Warszawa team there as well, in case you are interested, playing a 4-4-1-1. But after 33 minutes, it does remain 0-0 on the day. 4-0 to us on aggregate. And very late in injury time in the first half here, we do have a long throw, and Bamba is going to try and unleash one. Picks out Pedro. Puts that back to Swiderski, just puts it wide, and that should be half-time. A very quiet first half. We have had more chances, though, both highlights in the game so far, so that is good, but looking pretty comfortable, it has to be said, here against the Polish champions. Only 45 minutes left for them to try and overturn a 4-0 deficit. And after only 1 minute, we have our first highlight of the second half. This one might be a little bit busier than the first half, potentially, but we don't need to have too many highlights in this game. Very happy with our work from that first leg. Hopefully that's going to be enough for us to make our way through to the second qualifying round. And as I said in the last episode, I think our matchup in that game might actually be easier than this one against the Polish champions, so that could work out quite nicely for us. And I think if we win that game, we are then guaranteed to make the group stages of a European competition. Even if we did lose our next two ties, we would still make the Conference League group stage. But Legia Warszawa on the attack there. That's a great header, forces a very good save out of Sarah Fellini, but it does remain 4-0 on aggregate early on in the second half. And approaching the hour mark, it's time for us to make our first substitution. Bamba on a yellow card, so we will bring Carlo on for him, the young Brazilian right back. Still 4-0 up on aggregate. 66 minutes gone, and we have our next highlight. Still looking very comfortable. Not much going on in this game so far. As I said earlier, we're not too disappointed with that. Should give us a good chance to reach the sort of latter qualifying rounds of this Champions League. That's a poor first touch there from Diaz, though, and Legia Warszawa on the attack. It's a tight angle, and unfortunately he takes the shot. I think he would have been better off trying to find a teammate there, but that is in our favour, and it does remain 4-0 on aggregate, 0-all on the day. And around the 70-minute mark, we now have another highlight looking to play out from the back. They are pressing us quite high up the field today. Maybe if they did that in the first game, they wouldn't be in such a predicament, but we go on the attack, and that is surely a red card for that foul there on Nicolucci. Kapustika already on a yellow card, and indeed he gets shown his second, and surely now we are safe as houses into the next round of Champions League qualifying. While that has happened, we will take Bjarkason off on a red heart and bring Ledson on for him, but that looks very favourable for us after 71 minutes with a man advantage, 4-0 up on aggregate. Now, I think we'll also make our last change at this time as well. Bonnet having a little bit of a shocker out there, so Gavioli can play in that DM role. All our subs used, 20 minutes left, 4-0 up in the second league on aggregate. And right on the brink of full time in this game, we are going to be making our way through to the second qualifying round, just looking to pinch a win in the second leg as well as the first, trying to pick out Leeds in there at the far post. He tries to put a ball in to the mixer. We lose position, but Corbo is there at the back to tidy things up, and the highlight does continue. Good header there from Ledson. Pedro has a shot, but it's pretty comfortably covered there from the Legia Warszawa goalkeeper. They pump this deep, looking to get something going in this game. They've been a lot more threatening in the second half of this game than in any half of the prior leg so far, but we have looked pretty comfortable over both legs and are going to be winning this game pretty comfortably. Pedro heads that down nicely to Ledson. Surely he was offside. In fact, he wasn't, albeit they are now given a free kick here, Legia Warszawa, but very comfortable stuff from us here, and it's now just about us waiting and seeing which of the potential 5 teams, I think it was when the draw was done in the last episode, that we are going to be taking on in the second qualifying round. We'll come back and check that off the back of this game wrapping up. It's a pretty tame game, truth be told, being a pretty quiet one compared to the first league, but we got the job done nicely at home. Haven't had to do too much in this away league. Have created a few good chances, just haven't quite put the ball in the back of the net, albeit Legia Warszawa, as I said, have also created a few good chances in the second league, but it's been a pretty quiet tie. But as I've said a few times, that suits us just nicely. Ledson makes his way towards the left-hand corner, trying to wrap this game up. We hold the ball up outside the box. We end up with a 0-0 draw in the second league. Probably could have won that game, especially with that late red card to a Legia Warszawa player, but a very comfortable win over 2 legs against the Polish champions, 4-0. And we'll come back shortly and see who we are going to be playing in the second qualifying round of the Champions League. And back in the inbox after that, very comfortable in the end 4-0 win over both legs. As I said, that first league win, certainly the big factor in that one, and also maybe the match fitness as well. I think that certainly had an impact early on in that first leg, as you could tell by our hot start. We get a nice £85.5 thousand for playing in that round, and should get another £85.5 thousand now that we are in the second qualifying round of the Champions Path. And the team that we are going to be playing are Qarabağ, and they are from, if we just have a quick hover over that, Azerbaijan. So that is a non-playable league. They made their way past Gap Konazkwe, so I presume that's an Irish team, quite comfortably 7-2. You can already see the player with the highest average rating for them there is Mikhail Antonio. So that is a very interesting name that they do have in their team. Do the Azerbaijan team from a non-playable league, so it looks like they're a team who makes their way into these Champions League qualifiers every year. Could be another team that we have a decent edge on a match fitness, but probably not as much as we had in today's episode. But that is who we are going to be playing the next time that you do see me. That episode is probably going to be coming out Tuesday morning my time, Monday night UK time, and that's when we're going to get back into the proper swing of things when the holiday is fully over. Got the local horse races on here this weekend, so we'll enjoy those for the last little activities of the weekend. Go and get myself a little bit drunk and bet on some horses, and we'll come back and get right back into the swing of things with week daily uploads off the back of that, albeit I do also have my COVID booster jab next week in the middle of the week. But if anything happens with that, it throws me out a little bit, I will let you guys know down in the comments of a video. But we will be back on Monday night UK time for the second qualifying round of the Champions League. 2 legs against Qarabağ and Mikhail Antonio. But that's going to do it for today's episode. A very good 4-0 win over the Polish champions, Legia Warszawa, on aggregate. If you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. And until the next time I see you for the second qualifying round of the Champions League against Azerbaijan's Qarabağ, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.